Do you know when the longest night on Earth is? It's the winter solstice. This celestial event marks the official beginning of astronomical winter in the northern hemisphere. Conversely, it ushers in the start of summer in the southern hemisphere. The winter solstice typically falls on December 21st or 22nd, depending on the year and the time zone. On this day, the Earth's axial tilt is at its most extreme angle, 23.5 degrees, away from the Sun. This specific alignment results in the shortest day, and consequently, the longest night in the northern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere experiences the opposite effect on this day. Due to the Earth's tilt, the southern hemisphere receives the maximum amount of direct sunlight, leading to their longest day and shortest night of the year. The winter solstice is not just a random date on the calendar, it's a fascinating celestial event dictated by the Earth's position in its orbit around the Sun. Our planet does not spin upright. Instead, it's tilted on its axis at approximately 23.5 degrees. As the Earth orbits the Sun, this tilt causes different parts of the planet to receive varying amounts of sunlight throughout the year. This variation in sunlight is what gives us our seasons. During the winter solstice, the northern hemisphere is tilted furthest away from the Sun. This tilt means that the Sun's rays hit the northern hemisphere at a less direct angle, resulting in shorter days and longer nights. The further north you go, the more pronounced this effect becomes. The Earth's axial tilt is a fundamental reason why we experience seasons. If the Earth were not tilted, every day would have approximately 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness, regardless of your location on the planet. However, the tilt ensures that different hemispheres receive varying amounts of sunlight throughout the year. During the summer solstice, the opposite occurs. The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun, receiving the most direct sunlight and resulting in the longest day and shortest night. The summer solstice marks the beginning of astronomical summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. The spring, or vernal, and autumnal, or fall, equinoxes mark the points in the Earth's orbit where neither hemisphere is tilted towards or away from the Sun. On these days, the length of day and night is roughly equal throughout the world. Section 4, Celebrating the Solstice. The winter solstice has held cultural significance for millennia. Many ancient cultures recognized the solstice as a time of rebirth and renewal. Festivals and rituals were often held to honor the sun's return and the promise of longer days to come. One of the most well-known ancient structures aligned with the winter solstice is Stonehenge in England. The arrangement of the stones is such that on the winter solstice, the rising sun aligns perfectly with the heel stone, suggesting that the site was used for astronomical observations and possibly solstice celebrations. In modern times, the winter solstice is still celebrated by various cultures worldwide. Some people mark the occasion with gatherings, feasts, and bonfires, symbolizing the return of light and warmth. Section 5. The longest night around the world. The length of the longest night on Earth varies depending on latitude. At the equator, there is no difference in the length of day and night throughout the year. However, as you move towards the poles, the difference becomes more pronounced. At the Arctic Circle, latitude 66.5 degrees north, the sun does not rise above the horizon on the winter solstice, resulting in 24 hours of darkness. This phenomenon is known as polar night. The further north you go from the Arctic Circle, the longer the period of continuous darkness. Conversely, at the South Pole, latitude 90 degrees south, the sun remains above the horizon for 6 months straight during the southern hemisphere's summer, from the spring equinox to the autumnal equinox. Section 6. Conclusion. Embracing the darkness. The winter solstice and its accompanying longest night are a testament to the intricate workings of our solar system. This annual celestial event, determined by the Earth's tilt and its orbit around the Sun, has captivated cultures for centuries. While the winter solstice marks the longest night in the northern hemisphere, it is also a reminder that spring and the return of longer days are on the horizon. It is a time to reflect, to embrace the darkness, and to anticipate the coming of light and warmth.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. That's all for Nifty Narrations.